Hey there, everybody. This is a round two in May Madness, and I thought to save some time rather than going through the lineups individually, I just print them out and put them up there. You can see the number 9 seed Yankees against the number 1 seed Orioles. Andy Pettitte facing Jim Palmer. Lineup for the Yankees, as you can see: Jeter, O'Neill, Williams, Martinez, Posada, Justice, Spencer, Brocious, and Soriano. And then if we flip over to the Orioles, we have Buford, Blair, Robinson, Powell, Retman, Brooks Robinson, Davey Johnson, Andy Etchebarren, and Mark Belanger. So it is the 69 Orioles against the 2001 Yankees. This is a number 1 seed versus a number 9 seed. Two of the number 1 seeds are already gone. So the Orioles trying to prevent being a third from falling under that same fate. So we will get going now that the lineups have been shown, and we'll get busy here. It's doing this one in this particular game because last night was Derek Jeter night at Yankee Stadium where they retired his number. So since they retired Derek Jeter's number, that's why I decided to do this game today. And in May Madness, round 2, Yankees and Orioles. Jim Palmer on the mound for the 69 Yankees, and we will be just about ready to go as soon as I get everything into position. Let's get here we go. All right, so Jim Palmer will be stepping into the box, and for anyone who just joined, the starting lineup for the Yankees in this game is Jeter, O'Neill, Williams, Martinez, Posada, Justice, Spencer, Brocious, and Soriano. And for the Orioles, it's Buford, Blair, Robinson, Powell, Retman, since the lefty Pettitte's on the mound, Robinson, Johnson, Etchebarren, and Belanger. I wasn't going to do this live because I thought I saw a feed from Tabletop Earl saying he was going to do his NLCS live, but then it went away, so I was like, okay, maybe he's having issues, I'm not sure, but just felt like doing it live anyway. So we're going to get going, and the man of the hour, Derek Jeter, it was his night last night, even though the Yankees let him down by losing. But Derek Jeter against Jim Palmer, a Hall of Famer against future Hall of Famer, 5-4 and a 5-4. Let's see if I can get this a little bit closer. I doubt it. So you can try to see the card without shaking the camera too much. 5-4 is a catcher X. So right off the bat, we have an Andy Etchebarren check. And Andy Etchebarren is a 3-rated catcher. And that's a 12, which means on a catcher card, that goes to his error rating. Etchebarren's error rating is a 3 as well. And that is an 11. So on a 3-rated catcher, a number 11 is ground ball C. So Etchebarren able to pounce out in front of that. Throw Jeter out, one away, for Paul O'Neill, the right fielder. O'Neill, it's a 6-4. Oh, thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. Like I said, I'm debating between that. Derek, that's why I'm doing this live, because Earls was failing. I wasn't going to step on his toes, but it looked like maybe he's having technical issues, so I thought I'd give people something to watch until he got his thing straight, and then you can always switch over if you wanted to. It's up to you. All right, so 6-4. Paul O'Neill against Palmer. 6-4 is ground ball third base X. That's Brooks Robinson. And surprisingly, not surprisingly, Brooks Robinson's a 1. And that's a 9, which is going to be an error check. So hold the phone on that. It's not a guaranteed play. Brooks Robinson is an E14. And that's a 6. So an E14 and a 6 is a ground ball A. So Brooksy is up to the task, and there's 2 away. 2 up, 2 down for Bernie Williams. And we got a 110 against Palmer. So Williams and a 110 is a ground ball to short, handled by Belanger, and that's going to end the top of the first. Down go the 2001 Yankees. So we'll go to the bottom of the first, and Andy Pettitte will be stepping on the bump for the Yankees. He'll be facing Don Buford to lead things off. I'm going to 6-6. Buford is a righty since he's a switch hitter. So it's a 6-6, and that's bad news for Mr. Pettitte because 1-7 is a triple, 8-20 is a single. That's a 15, so it's merely a single. But the Orioles have the leadoff runner on, and here's Paul Blair. That's a 2-8 for Blair against the lefty Pettit. 2-8 is a pop-up to the second baseman, Alfonso Soriano. And there's one away for Frank Robinson, as Earl Weaver hopes to get on the board early with his troops. It's 5-8 against Pettit. 5-8 is a strikeout. So Frank Robinson with the whiff. 2 down, and Boog Powell steps to the plate, lefty on lefty against Pettit. It's a 4-8. Pettit. A 1-2 is a single. Anything else is a ground ball to first. And that's a 4, so it's a ground ball handled by Tino Martinez to end the inning. So nothing doing for either team in the first. We go to the second, and the aforementioned Tino Martinez will lead things off against Mr. Underwear, Jim Palmer. If you're old enough to remember his underwear ads. We got a leaner, so I'm going to re-roll. All right, we got a 2-7. So Tino, a 2-7 is a ground ball to second, handled by Davey Johnson, and there's one away. And this is Jorge Posada. So 5-4. Posada, switch hitter batting left. 5-4 is another catcher X, so Echeverria gets another chance as a catcher. And he is a 3 rated catcher, and that's a 2. But the bases are empty, so that shouldn't hurt him too bad. A 3 and a 2 is a pass ball pop out, but nobody's on base, so it's simply a pop out. And there's 2 away. Brings up DH David Justice. It's Palmer. It's a 4-5, and a 4-5 is a ground ball to second, handled by Davey Johnson, and Palmer puts the Yankees down again, 1-2-3. We go to the bottom of the second. Still no score. And DH Merv Rettenmund will be the batter, since Pettit, the lefty, is on the mound. 2-8 against a lefty. 2-8's a ground ball back to Pettit, so that's an easy play. And that'll bring up Brooks Robinson, third baseman. Brooksy, a 3-10 for Brooks against a lefty. 3-10's a ground ball back to Pettit again. So 2 consecutive ground balls back to the mound. Easy plays, 2 up, 2 down. For Davey Johnson, second baseman. It's a 6-5 against the lefty Pettit. Chance for a home run, however, Davey Johnson is weak against lefties, so the 1-3 would only be a single. A 4-20 would be a double. So it's a 4, so it's a double, 2-out double for Davey Johnson. And the Orioles might have something cooking, although there are 2 outs, and we got light-hitting catcher Andy Echeverria stepping to the plate. 6-9 against Pettit is a strikeout, so Echeverria down on strikes, and down go the Orioles in the second. So after 2 complete, we are still scoreless. Palmer back on the bump, and we'll be facing left fielder Shane Spencer. It's a 5-7 against Palmer, and that's a ground ball second base X. That is Davey Johnson. And Davey Johnson's a 2. That's a 1, so that's going to be a base hit. He's going to sneak that right past Davey Johnson for a base hit. So first hit of the game for the Yankees, and it comes from Shane Spencer. So that'll bring up Scott Brocious. The 1 on the D20 is the bane of a lot of teams. All right, it's a 110 for Brocious against a righty Palmer. 110 is a pop out to short. Remember, this is just advanced, so no ballpark effects. It is a pop-up to the shortstop, 1 away. Brings up Alfonso Soriano, second baseman, number 9 hitter in the order. It's a 3-9 against Palmer. 3-9 is a strikeout, so Alfonso with the whiff. 2 down, and now we're back to the top of the order, and Derek Jeter. 5-9 against Palmer. 5-9 is a ground ball shortstop X. That's Belanger, and he's a 2-rated shortstop. And that's a 10, so that's going to be an error check. Belanger is an E26, and that is a 6. So an E26, you never know. E26 and a 6 is, in fact, a 1-base error on Belanger. So the normally sure-gloved Belanger boots it. That will move Spencer up to second. Runners at first and second, 2 outs. And the dangerous Paul O'Neill is up to try try to put the Yankees in the lead. It's a 110 for O'Neill, but he's going to ground it to Boog Powell, and that's going to end the inning. So nothing doing there for the Yankees. They came close, but Palmer snuffed it out. And we go to the bottom of the third. Still no score, and here's Belanger trying to atone for that error. It's a 2-11 against Pettit, but he's going to pop it up to Jeter. And there's one away. Back to the top of the order for switch hitter Damon Buford batting right. And that's another leaner, so we'll re-roll again. That's a 6-7. So Pettit against a righty, 6-7. 1-3 is a single. Anything else is a line out to second. And that's a line out to second, so Soriano snags it. 2 away, bases empty for Paul Blair. And so far the pitchers are having their way. It's a 3-5. 3-5 for Blair against the lefty is a fly to left. Spencer handles it. Inning's over. And the way this is going, the speed of this game, I might get it done before Earl starts his game. So let's see here. We go to the fourth, Jim Palmer. And Palmer's got a fatigue rate of 9. He can go all the way as long as he's effective. Pettit's a 7, in case you were curious. All right, Bernie Williams, lead things off here, center fielder. He's 0 for 1, grounder to short. First time up, it's a 2-2. So a 2-2 for Williams, and he is plunked. So Bernie Williams, hit by the pitch. As Palmer let one get away, and that'll bring up Tino Martinez. That's a 2-9 for Martinez against the righty Palmer, and that's a ground ball first base A. That is a 3-6-3 double play turned by Powell and Belanger. And 2 quick outs kind of put the kibosh on any thoughts of a rally by the Yankees. Here's Posada. 3-10 for Posada. However, Posada says, hey, I can hit a home run. Why not? 1-19. So anything other than a D20, and Jorge Posada has just gone deep. And it's a 20. Do you believe this, folks? That was a 20. The only thing that prevented that was a 20, and he found it. So instead of the home run, he's going to fly it out to Frank Robinson. So warning track power. And Posada thought he had a sure thing, but the D20 had other ideas. All right, here's Frank Robinson. He will lead things off in the bottom of the fourth. Against Pettit. Against Pettit here. It's a 2-10. Frank Robinson against a lefty. 2-10 is a ground ball back to Pettit again. That is the third time they have grounded to Pettit. So he must have had a knack for getting teams to do that. It's a 4-9. 4-9 against Boog Powell, the lefty. 4-9's a fly ball to right. And there are now 2 away. So 2 down, and that will bring up Merv Retman, the DH. And Retman, a 3-9. 3-9 for Retman against a lefty. 3-9 is a strikeout, so that's going to end the Orioles' 4th inning. 3 up, 3 down. We go to the 5th, still no score. And the runs are getting harder to come by as both pitchers are on their game in this one. So leading off will be David Justice, the DH, to start the 5th. 6-8 against Palmer. 6-8 is a walk, so leadoff walks can sometimes come back to bite you, but we'll see if Palmer can pitch around it. Shane Spencer, a 1-9. 1-9 is a strikeout, so Spencer down on strikes. 1 away for Scott Brocious, and that's a 5-11. 5-11 is a fly ball left field X, and the left fielder in this case is Buford, who's a 2. And that's a 9, so I do believe that is an error check, if I'm not mistaken. And it is Buford. His error rating is a 5, and that's a 7. So if we look at the E5 and a 7, that's a fly ball B, so it's a good play by Buford for out number 2. Brocious is gone. Brings up Alfonso Soriano, a tough number 9 hitter. And we get a 5-6 against Palmer. 5-6 is a fly to right. Brooks Robinson corrals it, and the inning is over. So nothing doing in the bottom of the fifth. I'm sorry, in the top of the fifth. We go to the bottom of the fifth, still no score. And Brooks Robinson,
So if we look at the E5
steps to the plate.
That's a fly ball B, so it's a good play.
Steps to the plate. And we will have Pettit with the delivery. It's a 3-8. 3-8 against the lefty is a pop out to short. There's one away. And Pettit is baffling the Orioles right now. Davy Johnson. It's a 3-5 against the lefty. 3-5 is a fly ball to left. So 2 down. So the only hit so far for the Orioles was a Davy Johnson double in the second. Other than that, Pettit's been perfect. 2-2 for Echeverry. 2-2 is a line out second base max, but of course the bases are empty and there are already 2 outs, so it's simply a line out to second to end the inning. So the inning's over. We go to the 6th, and the score still 0-0. Top of the order, Derek Jeter to start things off against Palmer, and that's a 6-5. So Palmer, a 6-5 is a strikeout. So Jeter down on strikes. 1 away for Paul O'Neill. Paul O'Neill, it's a 4-5. Palmer against the lefty. 4-5 is a ground ball to second. Davy Johnson handles it. 2 down for Bernie Williams. Must be something when I play these games on a Monday after work, I get no runs. Last week I did that. Yogi Berra hit a walk-off homer in the 9th to break a 0-0 tie. 3-5 for Bernie Williams is a fly ball to right, and that's going to end the inning. 3 up, 3 down again. If you like pitching duels, you should be happy. If you like runs, you'll be disappointed. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Still no score. Here's Belanger against Pettit. It's a 1-8. Belanger against the lefty is a single to center field. So maybe now the Orioles might have something cooking as they get the lead runner on. Nobody out for Damon Buford, or Don Buford. His son was Damon Buford. 3-7 against a lefty, Pettit. 3-7 is a ground ball shortstop B, so it's a fielder's choice, which means Buford takes over as the base runner, and Belanger is out of there. So 1 out, and Paul Blair, the batter. Somebody's got to crank one to score a run, I think. It's 2-5. 2-5 against Pettit, the lefty. 2-5 is a ground ball second base C. That will advance the runner, so Buford will at least get to second base, but now there's 2 outs. And it's up to Frank Robinson. Well, probably nobody else you'd rather have up there to drive that run home than Frank Robinson, though. It's a 6-11, and Pettit felt the same way and walked him. So runners at first and second. Did have first base open, but now he's got to deal with Boog Powell. It is a lefty-on-lefty matchup, but it's still Boog Powell. 2 on, 2 outs. It's a 6-6. 6-6, and Boog Powell's going to do it. Boog Powell is going to finally break the scoreless tie. 1-5 is a double. 6-20 is a single, but it is 2 stars, so the run will score. It's a 5, so it's a double. A double for Boog Powell. That will score Buford. And the Orioles grab a 1-0 lead. Frank Robinson only gets 2 bases with the 2 stars, so he stops at third, but the Orioles grab a 1-0 lead. And here's Merv Retman. Merv Retman, a 4-3 against Pettit. It's a fly ball right field X. That's Paul O'Neill. And Paul O'Neill is a 3-rated right fielder. And that's a 1. That's a bad sign when you get a 1 as an outfielder. A 3 and a 1 is a double. A base clearing double for Merv Retman, and that brings home 2 more runs. And all of a sudden, I kind of jinxed it. The Orioles now lead it 3-0, and the Yankee bullpen might be going very shortly. Here's Brooks Robinson, 2-6 against the lefty. Well, a 1-5 is a single. It's only 1 star, so they can't score it, but it would keep the inning going. 1-5 is a single. 6-20 is a line out to third. It's a 6, so Brocious snow-coned it right by the foul line and kept it from getting by. But the Orioles put an imposing 3 spot. The way Palmer's pitching, 3 might be enough. We go to the 7th. It's 3-0 Orioles. And Tino Martinez will lead things off for the Yankees. 2-4. 2-4 is a ground ball back to Palmer. 1 away. Palmer large and in charge with this 3-run lead. Here's Posada. It's a 3-3 for Posada. Now, that's a base hit. Posada will single. And there's one away with one on for Justice. Let's see if Justice is served. It's 2-8. 2-8 for Justice. He will walk. And that will bring the tying run to the plate in Shane Spencer. Shane Spencer, the left fielder. It's a 4-3. But that's a ground ball third base A. That is a 5-4-3 around the horn double play turned by the Orioles. Robinson to Johnson to Powell. And the threat is subsided. We go to the bottom of the seventh. Still 3-0 in favor of the Orioles. This is Pettit's point of weakness inning. So the Yankee bullpen, other than Mariano Rivera, let's see what else they have down there. Mike Stanton is a possibility. So they're going to go ahead and make that change. So Mike Stanton's going to be coming in. Mike Stanton, the lefty reliever, is going to come in for Pettit. Pettit's going to end up going 6 innings, giving up 3 runs, all earned. And it's Stanton's job to keep things right where they are. He'll be facing Davey Johnson to do so. So Stanton facing Johnson. 5-7. 5-7, and all these outs, and he found his single. 5-7's right there, right in the middle of the card. So Davey Johnson gets a leadoff single. That'll bring up. That's why they're the number 1 seed, folks, because they're good. Here's Andy Etchebarren, 6-6. 6-6 is another single with 2 stars. So Stanton getting lit up. Runners are at the corners with nobody out for Belanger. And they might have to bring in Rivera early just to keep the game close, because it won't be a save situation, that's for sure. 5-8. 5-8 is ground ball second base X. That's Soriano. And Soriano's a 3. And that's a 15, so it's probably a good play, but not a double play. Let's take a look. Second baseman, a 3 rated second baseman, and a 15 is actually a ground ball C. So the runners are going to advance. So Johnson will score on the ground out. And going to second is Etchebarren. Belanger's out 4-3. He does get an RBI, and it's 4-0 Orioles. With 1 out and a runner at second. Here's Don Buford. 1-4. 1-4 against a lefty is a ground ball third base B. So with the play in front of him, the runner has to hold. 2 down. And that will bring up Paul Blair. 5-8 against Stanton. Ground ball second base X again. So another chance for Soriano. It's a 9. So I think that's on his error check, and it is. Soriano is an E20. Obviously not very good as an E20. A 7. That's almost got to be an error. Oh, I had to take that back. I stand corrected. E20 to 7 is a ground ball A. Tells you what I know. All right, so Soriano made that play, and the Orioles pick up the 1 run, but that was it. And we go to the 8th. It is the Orioles in command, 4-0. As seemingly they have things in control, but you never know. That's why you play the game out. Here's Scott Brocious. 5-4 is another catcher X. Etchebarren has had a couple chances already and been successful. He's a 3 rated catcher, and that's a 1. So that's going to be a pass ball and a foul out, but nobody's on base, so it's simply a foul out. And that's the benefit of keeping people off base. So Brocious is out. That'll bring up Soriano. Alfonso Soriano, a 4-7 against Palmer, is a strikeout. There's a dot there, but he hasn't reached his point of weakness, so strikeout will stand. 2 down. And now it's Derek Jeter, probably his last at bat of the game. 6-7. 6-7 for Jeter, and he's going to walk. So 2-out walk to the captain, Derek Jeter. Brings up Paul O'Neill. Paul O'Neill's a 3-5. So O'Neill, 3-5, is a ground ball to Boog Powell, and that's going to end the inning. And the Yankees getting dominated by Jim Palmer. So it is now 4-0 as we go to the bottom of the 8th. And since there's no reason not to bring him in, they're going to bring in Mariano Rivera to pitch the 8th to try to keep it 4-0. No reason to save him for anything. It's not a regular season game. It's a tournament, so it's one and done. So Mariano Rivera is in to face Frank Robinson. Boog Powell and Merv Retman. 2-8 for Frank Robinson is a pop up to second. So there's one away. For the Boog Powell. 1-5 for Powell is a single. So Boog Powell singles the opposite way. Gets on board for Merv Retman. It's a 1-8. 1-8 for Retman. A 1-8 is a single. 9-20 will be a fielder's choice ground out. It's a 12, so it's a ground out to third on fielder's choice. Brocious to Soriano for out number 2. Retman takes over at first base as the runner, and Brooks Robinson the batter. With 2 outs and 1 on. 6-4. 6-4 is a fly ball center field X. That is Bernie Williams. He was a 2. Bernie Williams is a 2, and that's a 3, so that could be problematic. He's a 2 and a 3. That's a single star, so that will drop in. Retman will move to third on the single by Brooks Robinson. Puts runners at the corners. 2 outs for Davey Johnson. And D20 has not been kind to the Yankees today, that's for sure. 4-2. 4-2 is a ground ball shortstop A. That's going to end the inning. Nothing doing there in the 8th for the Orioles, but they still hold a 4-0 lead as we go to the 9th. And Earl Weaver says, I'm not bringing anybody else in. This is yours to finish, Jim. So it's up to Palmer to go ahead and try to get that complete game. Here's Bernie Williams. To 6-9. 6-9. 1-8 is a single. 9-20 will be a liner to Boog Powell. It's a 1, so it is a base hit. So Bernie Williams with a leadoff single. And this is the point of weakness setting for Palmer, so if he gives up 2 more hits or walks, he'll reach his point of weakness. Tino Martinez, a 1-7. 1-7 from Martinez. He was loaded with hits, and he found his fly ball to center field. So there's one away. Yankees down to their last 2 outs for Jorge Posada. Just missed a home run earlier in the game. 3-3 for Posada. He will single. Single to left field. Keeps it going. That'll bring up DH David Justice. Oriole bullpen now working. Eddie Watt, closer. 1-3 for Justice. 1-3 is a ground ball first base B. That will be a fielder's choice. 3-6. Justice will reach. Posada's out at second. Williams will move to third. So runners are at the corners with 2 outs, and it's up to Shane Spencer. He is the last hope for the Yankees. That's a 5-6. 5-6 is a fly ball to right. The ball game is over. Jim Palmer with a complete game shutout, 4-0 over the Yankees and Andy Pettit. So with that win, the Orioles now will advance in the tournament. And if you're a Red Sox fan, you got to like the tournament because in the Sparky bracket, we've got the 86 Red Sox against the 67 Red Sox in one Sweet 16 game. And then we have the 04 Red Sox against the 41 Yanks in another Sweet 16 game. 79 Orioles will be taking on the 04 Cardinals in one Sweet 16 matchup. And now the 69 Orioles have penciled their spot in that bracket. They'll play the winner of the 2000 Mets versus the 01 Arizona teams. And over to the other bracket, we've got the 61 Yankees who will be playing the 91 Braves in a Sweet 16 game. We've got the 93 Phillies. They'll be playing the 90 Orioles. And that's in one Sweet 16 game. The 93 Blue Jays have punched their ticket, beating Brooklyn of 41 to get to the Sweet 16. They'll be playing the winner of the Moneyball Oakland A's and the 2003 Florida Marlins in that game. And then up here, we've got 2 games going on. We've got 01 Seattle against the 15 Mets, and we got the 92 Braves against the 84 Tigers. It would be interesting if the 92 Braves made it this far and the 91 Braves made it that far. That would be some interesting inter-squad matchups there. So, what game are you playing, Derek? Are you playing one right now? You rolling the game right now with the 90 set? Is that what I thought you said? Somebody bought the 90 set. I think it was you that said that you had bought the 90 set. That's what I'm thinking anyway. So the Yankees fallout. They kind of did what they did on Jeter night last night and kind of bit the bullet there. But the 69 Orioles are tough. I mean, the 69 Orioles won the first May Madness, so they're the defending champion trying to repeat. And you can see why that they would be that way. So, oh, you're doing the NLCS. Cool. Yeah, that was a great NLCS. I like the Pirates team, sans Barry Bonds, but I did like Leland, and I like Doug Drabeck and Andy Van Slyke and those guys. Hard fought series. Of course, I like Chris Sabo too. He was one of my favorite players with the goggles and just really a hard-nosed kind of dude. And tough to beat those Reds when they get the lead, that's for sure, with the nasty boys in there. And, of course, Rijo was one of the ace pitchers of that team. Well, was the ace pitcher of that team, I should say. So I'm guessing Earl is still got his game going on since he got a late start. So since we're just about done here, I guess everybody's going to probably migrate over there. I'm getting ready to drive to my church meeting, so I'm sure I'll be listening to Earl as I'm driving. I doubt I'll be able to make many comments since I'm going to be driving. Not supposed to drive and text, obviously, so I will try to avoid doing that. But I appreciate you guys tuning in, and wasn't much excitement as far as a lot of runs scored, but you did see a great pitching performance by Mr. Underwear himself, Jim Palmer. So let me turn this around so we can at least feel like I'm talking to somebody instead of just seeing the thing here. There we go. All right, so I appreciate you guys tuning in, and look forward to going over to Earl's channel and catching his Game 7 of the APA. I think it's the NLCS or AL. I think it's the ALC. I think it's the NLCS, the Mets and the Giants. So appreciate you guys tuning in. It's 6:30 here on the East Coast, and I've got my meeting at 7, so I need to get myself moseying along, as they say. And I'll be putting out some more stuff from History Maker Baseball more than likely later on. Cool, Derek. Shutout is complete. Reds win 3-0. Doesn't surprise me because Rijo could be dominant. So, as was Palmer here today. So, until next time, take care. Hope you enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play. And I will see you down the road.